Hi friends, you know we love cruising, and today we're going to talk about our experience going on the largest and newest ships to the oldest and smallest ship.
Yeah, so how was our experience? How was it going from these amazing, shiny, brand new ships that offer everything in the world to more of a smaller, classic cruising experience? We're going to share all that, and we hope in sharing that, we can help you make the most of your vacation experience.
Welcome to Living Phase 2. Our last three cruises have been on Royal Caribbean's Symphony of the Seas, which at the time was Royal's largest ship, Odyssey of the Seas, which was Royal's newest cruise ship, and then Grandeur of the Seas, which was Royal's oldest and smallest cruise ship.
Right. And for those that aren't completely familiar, let's just touch a couple things here. Symphony of the Seas is an Oasis class ship. It's now not the newest. They now have Wonder of the Seas, but at the time, a few months ago when we cruised it, it was right before Wonder came out. So it was the largest cruise ship in the world. It's 228,000 tons. And
it's a big ship.
Huge. It's 1,184 feet long. And so to kind of translate that, if you think of a football field as 300 feet, you're talking about almost 4 football fields long. There's just no way to say it, other way to say it. Symphony is massive. When you look at Odyssey of the Seas, it's not as big as Symphony, but at the time we went on it, it had just been christened and was Royal Caribbean's newest ship. And it is considered, it's a Quantum class ship, which is a much more high-tech ship. It's got all kinds of things to offer, super high-tech venues and things to look at there. Again, it's about 1,138, so it's about 50 feet shorter than Symphony, but it's also quite a bit narrower. So not quite as big, but still very big ship, no question about it. And then finally, Grandeur of the Seas. Grandeur of the Seas is known by Royal Caribbean fans as the Lady G. It has a huge following. People love it. It's a Vision class ship, and it's been around since, I believe, 1996.
They were going to sell it.
Yes, they were. During the pandemic, or right before the pandemic, they were looking at scrapping Grandeur or selling it. And the pandemic changed all that, and they kept it around a little bit. So to give you a little bit of a comparison here, Grandeur is about a third the size of Symphony of the Seas. It's about 900 feet long. So instead of 4 football fields, it's 3 football fields. So we're not talking about a small little boat here. I mean, this is still a pretty good sized ship, but just realize that it's about half to a third the size of these larger ships we're talking about here.
We're going to look at several different categories in comparing the oldest and smallest ship to the newest and largest ships. We'll look at things like embarkation and debarkation, which we think is better, design and look, amenities, ease of getting around the ship, the cabins, the entertainment, the cost, the food, overall value, and which we really think is good for a phase 2 lifestyle.
Right. So first one we're going to look at is, let's start right away with embarkation and debarkation. So getting on and off the ship is what we mean here. So being a smaller ship like Grandeur, I don't think we've ever had a faster, easier, more relaxing embarkation and debarkation.
10 minutes.
10 minutes. Most. Yeah, absolutely.
We were on the ship, drink in hand.
Yeah. It was, and you can see that again if you. We've actually done a series of videos on Grandeur and on Odyssey, and we have a full video on our embarkation day. So be sure to take a look at that one, and you'll see we fly right through. There's no lines. It's just super easy getting on and off. When you start getting to a ship like Symphony that has 5,000 to 6,000 people, I mean, they're pretty efficient as they can be, but you're just not going to have the experience getting on and off that ship that you're going to have on a small ship like Grandeur. So the winner is?
Well, the winner is Grandeur, but I do want to mention that the debarkation process for both was very similar. That we did, self-assist. We just carried our own luggage out when we were ready to go, so there was no waiting around at any time, and so that was equal.
Right, exactly. So, but certainly I think the winner here is Grandeur. The next, let's talk about design and look at the ship. Now again, this is very subjective, right? There's no hard criteria that says, oh, Symphony or Odyssey or Grandeur is better. But when you think about the design of the ship, the Vision class ships, which Grandeur is, has lots of glass, lots of open. It has a massive internal centrum that goes all the way up. Whereas you look at something like Symphony, it has a royal promenade that's very wide open. And then you look at something like Odyssey, and its promenade is more cut up. It's more of a kind of a multi-level shopping mall feel that's a little tighter. They all have their pluses and minuses. And I think we kind of liked all of them, right? I don't know if the design of the ship really lent one to the other. What do you think?
No, but as far as the look goes, you can see that the Grandeur is certainly starting to show its age. Now, it looks very nice, but it is showing its age. And so I guess I do feel like the look and the design goes to Symphony on this one.
Symphony, yeah, certainly. I would say I certainly like the solarium on Symphony. That was beautiful, and they were really good. But yes, I think when you're looking overall design wise, the beauty and etc., I'd probably agree with you on that.
Symphony. Okay. The third one is getting around the ship. Now, like Mike mentioned, one is 3 football fields long, and
or 4 and one is 3,
Football
right?
fields long. And Grandeur was very easy to get around the ship. There were plenty of elevators also, because there's so many fewer passengers on Grandeur. You didn't have to wait for an elevator nearly as long as you do on Symphony.
Yeah, certainly. And to kind of give you the idea of our experience, Grandeur was pretty much at capacity, and Odyssey was pretty much at capacity. So we've seen both at fairly at capacity. No question, though. When we were on Symphony, you truly do feel like you're walking forever.
A long time. Those halls get long.
They do. And so just, sometimes take a look at a football field and think you've got to walk that extra amount just to get maybe from your cabin, to the main elevators of the dining room. No question, getting around Grandeur and the smaller ship wins every time.
And both of our rooms on the ships were centrally located on the ship, on both ships. So it wasn't like we were all the way at the ports or the aft or the forward side.
Right. So it's I certainly Grandeur.
Yeah.
So the next topic we're going to talk about is the amenities on the ship. Now, Grandeur of the Seas has all the standard cruise ship amenities. It's got a casino and a spa, and it has an all-adult solarium and a gym and a walking track and tons of bars. It's got all the things you're going to find on most cruise ships. However, when you talk about competing with something like Symphony or Odyssey, they have everything. You look at Odyssey, it's got indoor skydiving, it's got the wave pool, the surfing simulators. It's got the what's it called? The
virtual reality.
Well, it's got the virtual reality zone 0. It's got the North Star. That's what I was thinking. That you go up 100 feet above the ship and look around. It's got everything. Symphony's got Broadway shows and tons of restaurants, and it's got everything. So. The spa is an example. Your spa is gorgeous and beautiful and new, and Grandeur, it's very functional. It's a nice one, but it's not comparing to those. So I think when you talk about amenities, if you're truly looking for all kinds of amenities, you're going to want to lean toward the larger and newer ships versus the older and smaller ships. So I think in this case, Odyssey and Symphony come out ahead on that.
Agreed. Let's talk about cabins now. Odyssey had some of the nicest cabins that we've ever seen. Lots of storage. Grandeur also had good cabins, but they are starting to show their age. Just want you to take note, though, that for the cost difference, you can get a much larger cabin on Grandeur than what you could get just a standard balcony.
Or even an interior. On Symphony or Odyssey.
Right, so we did get a junior suite at an even lower cost than what it was to be on Symphony or Odyssey.
Right, so you can get a lot more cabin space for actually a lot of times less money. And I guess I want to say one thing. Yes, the cabin absolutely showing its age, but there was nothing really wrong. You just see a little wear and tear, but everything was functional. It was very comfortable.
The bed was comfortable. Yes, the shower was good.
So in this particular case, though, if you're talking about cabins overall, and you set aside the value piece, I think it really does go to Odyssey or Symphony, and especially Odyssey in this case. We love that cabin.
That
was great.
excellent. Yes.
Yeah, and again, we did a video on Odyssey, so take a look at that video. You can get a real full tour of the cabin, and so look back at those and find that video. It's probably a good time right now, since we're talking about some of our other videos. If this type of content you think is very helpful to plan your vacation, or you're living in phase 2 of life and want to follow our adventures as well, please hit that like button if this video has been helpful, and hit that subscribe button so that way you'll know when we have other videos coming out. It'll pop up in your feed, and then you can take a look at our other videos.
Thank you, friends. We appreciate it.
We really do. Well, let's talk about entertainment. You know, we had a very, very good time on Grandeur. You know, it had classic cruise ship entertainment. It had some production shows, music. It had a comedian on board. They played games, like they had the Love and Marriage game and some things like
Trivia.
that. Yeah, lots and lots of trivia. I mean, you're not going to be bored on a ship like Grandeur, but there's just no way that a ship like Grandeur can compare to Odyssey or Symphony. And when you talk about those ships, they have full Broadway production shows like Mamma Mia, and they have the
Grease,
270, Grease. They have the 270 theater with a show that would rival any Cirque du Soleil show you'd ever see. It's called The Book on there. And that theater is one of the most high-tech theaters in the world, not just at sea, but in the world.
The Aqua Theater.
Oh my gosh, yeah, the
Symphony.
Aqua Theater on the Oasis class ships on Symphony, you know, the diving show in the Aqua.
You can't miss them.
So in this case, if you're really an entertainment hound, right? You're really wanting to go in for the entertainment piece of it. There's just no question. The bigger ships are going to offer much more in the way of entertainment than Grandeur is going to.
Right. Let's talk a little bit about food.
Really?
We're
Food?
foodies. We're foodies.
Okay.
Okay. So when you're thinking of Grandeur, you're just not going to get all the specialty restaurants that you're going to get on the larger ships, like on Symphony or Odyssey.
Mm-hmm.
They just have more room to have more specialty restaurants. As far as the main dining room goes, I feel like we had a very similar experience on all the ships, and food quality on all three, I really feel like was pretty equal.
Yeah.
It's just the specialty restaurants.
You got more space, you got more options. And I would say, I would take a little bit beyond just the specialty restaurant, because when you get onto a ship like Symphony or even Odyssey, you have Sorrento's Pizza, which is a dedicated pizza place.
Sure.
You know, whereas on Grandeur, you got to go back into the solarium to the bistro back there, and they've got some pizza back there. I mean, there's just more options. You know, you've got El Loco Fresh, the Mexican place. You've got Playmaker's Bar. You've got things that just, they don't have room on Grandeur to do. So many more options for food, both included and specialty dining. Yeah. So in this case, yeah, if you're a foodie, I would hit one of the bigger, newer ships.
Yes. Let's compare cost. Actually, there's really no comparison when you're just thinking of cost. I mean, when you're going on one of the larger and newer ships, it can be a multiplier in the amount that you're going to pay for room on Grandeur.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Well, like we said, we got a junior suite.
Right.
Less than an interior cabin on one of these new ships would cost. So if cost is your primary driver,
Grandeur's your ship.
Grandeur's your ship without question.
But then there's a difference between cost and overall value. Let's consider overall value for a phase 2 lifestyle.
Absolutely. So remember, value is what you get for what you pay, right? Is it worth it or not? So when you look at these ships, you look at these big fancy new ships, and you look at an older ship like Grandeur, you know, which one do we feel, living in phase 2, being just us traveling without the grandkids, without kids, and the type of traveling we do, which, to be honest, is relaxing. We like to sit by the pool, have a drink, enjoy the ports of call that we go to, have a nice meal, and that's the type of lifestyle that we like. Without question, the best value you're going to get out of a ship like Grandeur, the smaller or the older ships. However, if you're traveling with the grandkids, you know, then now that's a whole different thing. If you don't mind being on a ship with lots of families, lots of kids, and you are geared more towards, I want the entertainment, I want everything life has to offer, then I think that the bigger ships like the Wonder, Symphony, Odyssey, those types of ships, they're going to be more in the line for you. You're going to pay a little more, but that's okay, because you're going to get value out of that, because there is a ton of value to be gained from what you're paying there.
There is.
So we hope this has been helpful. We hope that this has helped you kind of think about these different ships and how is it going on such a small ship. I know I've seen some people that are like, oh my gosh, it's so old, it's 1996. It's like, it's still a great ship. It really is. And I think that no matter which one you pick, without question, as we always say, if you pack your patience and go in with a great attitude, you're going to have a wonderful vacation.
You will. You're on a cruise. No matter which ship,
That's
you're
right.
still on a cruise.
That's right.
So thanks for watching, friends. We appreciate you being here, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Have a great day.
Bye-bye now.